Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Twisted Tragedies, where we follow all the twists and turns wherever they lead. I am your host, Elise. Sorry, I got like 17 things going on these screens right now. And I was having some audio issues this morning. So here's the thing. Most of you know, I don't advocate for bullying and harassment. As a matter of fact, I advocate for the complete opposite of bullying and harassment. I, for quite some time, have been getting messages from, people on the free care and read side, people from the anti-free care and read side, people who have nothing to do with either of those things and don't really care about the case in and itself. Okay? Either one of those things. And it's fucking heartbreaking. A lot of the shit I can't even tell you guys because I don't have permission, right, from the victims. But I can tell you this. Last night, I spoke to someone who contacted me, another person, who informed me that there was about, I think she said 13 victims, more victims of this sort of silencing thing that we've seen happen throughout this trial. And it really doesn't have much to do with the trial itself, really, as much as the people pulling the strings behind it for their own benefit. And I'll say this, it's deplorable. It's disgusting. I've been trying to warn people for quite some time now. They choose not to listen. And I posed this question the other day. Do people actually hate these people that Aiden sends these smear campaigns on? Because most of these people, including people like Sean or Esty, were people that people liked, right? People liked. I mean, even me, way back when I didn't lie for him and he got caught cheating on 4 women, including his wife, because I didn't lie for him. It's not my job to lie for someone, and I'm not going to ruin my credibility to lie for someone. I should never have been put in a position to lie to someone, okay? And when you throw one woman out like trash and on that day tell her you're bringing another woman to this party that the other one's supposed to be going to, and that woman calls me crying, that's ultimately what led to me being the enemy of the sewer turtle, that I was public enemy number 1 to him because Lauren called me crying and I felt horrible, I felt awful for her that he had made that phone call to her, that he was bringing Lindy to the party. And I told Lauren, come anyway. Who cares? Like have fun anyway. That's the biggest slap in the face. Just have fun anyway. And I don't blame her. She was emotionally couldn't do it. I don't blame her at all. And so that's ultimately what led to the smearing of me. Now let's be very clear here. Okay. My life has been full circle. And I have always been open about that. I was somebody who had a lot of trauma from an early age, and I never expected the things that I, went through in my life to have gone through. And I don't expect anyone else, right? I wouldn't wish one of my traumas on my worst fucking enemy. Okay, let's just put it that way. My story reads like a horror fucking novel. And my life still came full circle, right? I was a very broken young woman at that age. And instead of trying to deal with all of the pain, the overwhelming amount of pain that I had every single day to live with, I turned to drugs, which is something that I've been very open about. We're going on 18 years sober, guys. 18 fucking years ago, right? My life has come full circle. I was that person who, got charged for a petty possession charge to working in a prison for the criminally insane. I have gone full circle. If that is not a success story, I don't know what the fuck is, right? Not everybody comes from addiction and becomes a millionaire. I wish. That'd be great. Do you know how many people I could help? But that's not always the case, right? I don't give a fuck if someone used to be an addict or someone got out of a domestic violence situation. Their trauma, okay? Their pain is not here for it to be put out to the public in a way that you try to make misconstrue it and then make people think that person is a bad person by misleading them, by saying, oh, this person's still using. It's been 18 fucking years since I've used drugs. It's a long goddamn time, a whole fucking lifetime ago, as a matter of fact. And yet, that's the road they still went. I am not the only one. The smearing I dealt with was simply because A, I knew too much about the things that were going on that shouldn't have been, and B, I did not lie. And therefore, that put him in a very precarious situation. That started the smear campaign I have been dealing with for 3 years now. That's what started it, right? Because then, oh, hold on, we're freezing. I don't want us to freeze here. Hold on. Because then it turns into the same 10 things that he says about everyone. That person is a scammer. Scamming what? So I had a couple GoFundMes over the years because I'm a low-income family, and we had a fire. We lost everything in that fire, so I had one for that. I had one way back when to try to replace some of the teeth that I had broken by my abuser, although that never really, got anything. So I dental work is extremely expensive. So that still remains broken teeth back there. And then I had one to help my daughter go to Texas to see the only doctor in the country that studies her disease. All valid, real things. So I love it when he then tries to take those things and goes, they had multiple GoFundMes. They must be a scammer. How dare somebody who doesn't have family ask for help because they have nowhere left to turn? How dare somebody with a terminally ill child that has one fucking doctor in the country that actually studies her disease and knows how to treat it? How dare she want to bring her child to that fucking doctor to have her treated so she doesn't die? I mean, the audacity of me, right? Fuck. I'm a terrible human fucking being. Then came the rumors and the lies. You didn't donate to Karen Reed's defense fund. False. I had the receipts. I put them there. What happens when you put the receipts out there? The same thing that happens to Donna. They just say, oh, those aren't real. They're fake. They're manufactured. It's just the same game over and over and over. What I didn't know was that this is something he had been doing for 10 years prior, right? 10 years prior. And it's not just him. He uses all sorts of people close to him to do this shit, okay? And a lot of people to do this shit. And then there are people who willfully do it to get a pat on the back, to fucking, get to have some attention from them, to make them feel good, right? They're just some very unwell people. And then there are other people who just get sucked in by the lies, sucked in by just assuming you're being told the truth. And because so many people are saying it, you just assume it has to be true, right? All these people are saying it. Well, it's not, right? And then how many more victims of that same scenario over and over and over and over? Sean on the Gulf. Why did Sean get attacked? Sean got attacked because Sean knew that Michael Proctor had been fired and it wasn't public information. I knew long before Sean did. I just didn't put it out there publicly, and I wasn't going to until it was public. Sean didn't know that I had already known. We didn't talk about that stuff. We talk about friend stuff. We don't agree on the case, so we don't talk about the case, really. And so Sean put it out there and immediately got attacked and called a liar. Why? And this is what people don't seem to realize. What is the whole reason why this shit gets done? It's usually one of very few reasons. Petty jealousy, okay? Control, or petty revenge and anger because you didn't do something they wanted you to do, even if it wasn't something that you did wrong. I didn't lie for him, and he got caught lying to 4 women. And that started a shitstorm in his life, which was, by the way, already a shitstorm. But that made me public enemy number 1. That I then got blamed for a picture that was taken of Lindsay that I didn't take and had no knowledge of. For 7 or 8 months, I was blamed for that picture. I was called all sorts of names. I'm a horrible person. I'm a this, I'm a that. I had no knowledge of that picture. I had no idea who took it until I finally started weeks after I was accused of it and had been smeared all over social media about this stupid picture that I knew nothing about. And when I saw the picture, I knew immediately from the angle who took it. Because who it was sent to was the girl he threw out like trash. And she only talked to like 3 people that were at that party. So there's only 3 people that would have sent her a picture, me being one of those people. So that narrowed it down real quick. And then by the angle of where the table was, I could tell exactly who took that fucking picture. And for months, like a coward, they said nothing and allowed me to be blamed. Like a coward, people sat there and were too afraid of what he would do to them and didn't come clean. Happily to leave it blamed on me. I would never do that to somebody. I would never do that to someone. When Julie says brainwash, she literally means it. Good for you, EB. Good for you. And don't let anybody tell you, I don't care if it's 1 fucking day, 1 hour, 3 years sober. I don't give a shit what it is. Okay? Good for you. Nobody walks your shoes but you. Nobody knows your life but you. And nobody can live with your pain but you. So nobody has the fucking right to tell you anything about your sobriety. They don't have the right to disparage you. They don't have a right to call you names because you used to be an addict, or if you're just getting sober. I mean, I've been close to 20 years sober, and I still to this day have to deal with the ramifications of being an addict and being open about it. That's fucking sad. That's sad. That shouldn't happen. Most people who know me personally know what I do when these cameras are off. Right? Most people don't know what I do when these cameras are off. But I'll tell you one thing. What I do when these cameras are off is I make my fucking life count. That little dash in between that tells you from the, year you're alive to the year that you died. I make that dash count. Because I don't care who it is that comes to me for help. And I've stated this many times, and I will keep saying it until the cows come home. I don't give a fuck if you're free, Karen Reed. I don't care if you're anti-free, Karen Reed. Anybody who comes to me for help will get the help that I can give. Most people know I cannot give monetary help. I can barely help myself in that department. But I can give quite a lot of other help. And I have, and I will. I've been speaking up for people for 18 fucking years, and I'm not going to stop now. I've lived hell for the last 3. I am constantly disparaged, smeared online, constantly made fun of. It's never ending. It's never fucking ending. But what they don't seem to realize is I'm fucking never ending. I've been through the depths of hell and back numerous times. I'm not going to just magically poof disappear and stop advocating for people that don't deserve what's happening to them. Have a different opinion and you will be attacked. That is essentially what happens. Okay. I've thought about it. But that would be a multiple series fucking book. That would be a big multiple series book if I ever wrote a book. That's for sure. And that's the other thing. They all manipulated. The amount of people that have come to me afterwards and said, listen, Elise, I'm really sorry. Like, I did not know that this was untrue and this was untrue. And then I found out that this was untrue and this is untrue. And I'm really sorry. Like, I feel awful about the things that I said and the things that could have hurt you. And I apologize. And it's like, that's great. I'll take the apologies. I'll always accept an apology. But my big thing now at this point is, if you felt the necessity to attack me publicly for all that time, maybe now at this point, it should be public apologies. Because I have no problem giving apologies publicly to anybody who needs them. But this is why I stay out of the whole get online and start disparaging people bullshit. I don't do that. I spend my time helping people, not hurting people. There is no point in releasing personal messages between you and someone else. All it does is hurt someone. Even if you don't like that person anymore, all you're doing, the intention is to hurt them when you do that. What kind of person are you? Is that the kind of person you want to be? Person who just hurts people for an online personality of a man you don't even know? A man who wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire, and as a matter of fact, would blame you for the fire if he said it. It's time to wake up. This clout people need from him. You don't need it. You don't need it. There are other places to belong. There are other places people will listen to you. There are healthier environments to have conversations. not to attack people, not to call people names, but to have conversations. Okay. That's right. I'm such a monster, aren't I, Jess? And that's the funny part. Most people who know me as a person know that that's the complete opposite of what is portrayed, obviously, you know? Well, that's the thing. Everybody also expects that everybody who's attacked should lay down and be a doormat. Because if they fight back, then they're unhinged, right? They're obsessed with him if they fight back. That is the most gaslighting bullshit I've ever heard in my life. Hey, let someone attack you and actually don't speak up. Because if you speak up against those attacks, you're now obsessed. Now you have this syndrome that is made up and doesn't exist if you fight back. That's the most victim blaming, gaslighting bullshit I've ever heard a day in my life. Every single person that fights back, they're obsessed with him. No, they're fighting against lies that are being spread about them and their families. And I would expect that everyone else would do the fucking same. You want to lay down and take it? Be my fucking guest. But it won't stop, even if you do. Ask the people who have tried that route. They'll tell you the same thing. So what's your other option? Fight back. Advocate people not get involved with toxic people. Advocate that he's a horrible human being and uses people. Now, mind you, none of the people he uses, again, would he piss on if they were on fire. So, and they don't actually end up figuring that out until it happens to them. And it's unfortunate. I think we probably all do at this point, which is even sadder, right? I have people who are free Karen Reed who are afraid to comment in this, who watch me from the bushes every fucking time I go live. That's sad. Of course. Of course, right? Of course he did. Good morning. Good morning. Wait, it says that in the description? Oh my God. I can't. That just okay. Well, I fucking can't. I literally cannot with that bullshit. This just goes okay. It doesn't take a lot to figure out what's going on, right? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out either. It really doesn't. And it saddens me. It saddens me that this is the stuff that we have to deal with. I will never not be a voice for people who don't have one or feel like they can't have one because they are attacked if they do. I've been doing that for 18 years behind closed doors, quietly. And I will continue to do it until I'm dead. I am not afraid. They've already bullied and harassed my life into oblivion. There's not really much more they can do at this point. They can replay my streams. They can take them out of context. They can laugh. They can point. Hee hee ha ha. Her looks. She's poor. I mean, that's really all they got at this point is, oh, she's got gray hair. She wears makeup and she's low income. You're right. All those things are true. I am not rich. I have a biological dad who's on his way to death's door. I have a child with a rare disease less than 200 people on planet Earth have, who is terminally ill and has multiple other diagnoses on top of those. I have other children I have to take care of at home. And I'm physically disabled myself with a multitude of serious health conditions. And yet, that's a problem because I'm not a rich person. Because I don't have money because we work paycheck to paycheck. It's amazing to me the shit people will say to try to disparage someone else because it tells more about them than it does about the person that they're going after. You don't need to be rich to be intelligent. You don't need to be rich to be a good person. You don't need to be rich to have good intentions. It's not necessary. I would rather be poor every day of my fucking life and make nothing every show from here to Kalamazoo and make sure that people with no voice have one than be a miserable human fucking being that spends most of my time trying to cover for each lie that I tell, or spends most of my 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, trying to figure out how to silence this person, how to blackmail that one, how to send my minions to threaten others so they'll shut up and go away because, well, I can't have my stuff uncovered, because if the people uncover the things that I have done, I am over. That's the mindset that he's dealing with. Everything is done for a reason. Self-preservation. It's self-preservation. Thank you, Melissa, for becoming a member. We appreciate you. But I know I'm behind in these comments, so I apologize. Girl, don't let it be. And no, once you're a part of this community, you're a part of this community. If you're having a bad fucking day, dude, there's always a way to get in touch with me, and I will always answer. Hey, Lise, I'm really struggling today. Listen, I struggle some days. I've had a really shitty week, a really, really, I can't even, really bad week. And sometimes I need my friends to pick me up, right? And I will always be somebody that will answer you and pick you up if that's what you need. So don't suffer in silence. We don't suffer in silence here. That's the motto of this channel. We also don't go out and harass people because of my show. I make that very clear. Where you won't hear that ever. When it's used as a power, right? To use your audience as a power to mob other people, you'll never hear from that channel or that creator, hey guys, don't do that. Don't do that, guys. I see that that's happening. Don't do that. You'll never hear that from him. Not ever, not once, because that is how he holds his power, and control is very important to a narcissist. Very, very important to a narcissist. Also, I want to say thank you to the anonymous donor for the $20 donation. It says, thank you for all your coverage. Congratulations on your channel growth. I appreciate you. Thank you. I didn't do this in the beginning because I thought it was important to just start the show. But I'll do it now. Most of you know I survive only on donations from you guys for the channel. So always, if you can, there is a link pinned at the top of the chat right now that you could just use a good old debit or credit card to support the channel. That way, or Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut, the ones on the screen right now. Those are the best options because they go straight to me and not through YouTube where they take their cut. The other options obviously are super chats, super stickers, get your membership with the channel. If you have an iPhone, you can scan this code that Murder by Maestro made us right here, this QR code, and it'll let you get a channel membership, because for some reason Androids let you do it, but devices don't. So if you put me on your TV, you can just scan this code right here and get a membership if you have an Apple device. So we found a workaround for y'all. But my channel is a small channel compared to some of these other ones. And that is because I took the fucking hard road of not just telling people what they wanted to hear. It's who I am. I'm not just going to say shit people want to hear. That's life. Hey, girl. Speaking of Donna, there she is. I know I am super behind in these comments. I'm going to try to get to it, but it was super important that I get some of this out because it's going to continue on in the show. I'm going to play something in a minute for you guys, and I want you to tell me how fucking hypocritical it actually sounds real quick. Oh yeah, he's whining because they're not covering his case. There's nothing to cover, and that's why they're not covering his case, because there is no conspiracy. He did everything of his own free will and he got charged. There's nothing to cover. There's nothing to fucking cover. Okay? There's literally nothing to cover. Well, duh, that's what they do. It is very toxic, social media in itself, but don't let it be, But he's gonna pout because he wants the Karen Reed treatment. He's not going to get that. Karen Reed herself, and just let's make this clear, has blocked him from her phone and actively said he is a liar and he's blocked. He has no access to her anymore. What does that tell you? Now, I'm not saying she's a great, let's say, there's plenty of other people that I haven't blocked that are more relevant. But my point is he, started this on the back of that case. And so the person involved in that case will not even speak to him and calls him a liar. What the fuck does that tell you? And it's really sad that it has taken this long for people to start waking up and realizing what's actually happening. And I think it's because a lot of this shit happens behind closed doors and then out into Twitter. And the people who know what's going on can see it very clearly, but everyone else has no fucking idea what's going on. So they just assume that everyone's speaking out against him. It's just, you're all just his enemies. He all just, he called you out. He didn't call anyone out. What he does is when he knows someone knows too much, or he knows that someone has information that they shouldn't, that could harm him in any way, even if they're never going to say anything. And if he has a petty beef, if he has a petty jealousy or a control issue, somebody's getting more attention than he is, it's an automatic way to attack. And in his private text, which we'll probably see come the trial, he says it. He says he does it because it's a way to ruin someone's credibility. So no matter what they say after that, nobody will believe them. Context matters, guys. Intent fucking matters. And a pattern matters. If you don't see the pattern, you're fucking blind. My daughter's blind and she can see the pattern. I mean, just saying. Listen, a lot of people use weed as a way to relax and have medical cards. Some people, it's recreational and legal in the state of Massachusetts, And I don't technically, in my opinion, if you used to use drugs and the only thing you do now is smoke weed, I still consider that sober because you're not using weed is natural. I don't smoke weed. I never have. But some people it helps with anxiety, sleep, a bunch of different things. And so for anybody who has that option, good for you. It's not my cup of tea. Never has been. I haven't smoked weed since I was like 18 or 17. Never was my thing. I know it's like all you got. Like, oh, a junkie from 18 years ago. That's all you got? I know I'm such a horrible person. I help people weekly, but yep. And I, gain nothing from it. As a matter of fact, I actually get disparaged for it, But yeah, I'm a terrible person, let me tell you. Nothing to be afraid of over here because while you're here, Melissa, you have this community to have your back. But that's exactly what he does. Exactly. And you're safe here. Very safe here. We can agree to disagree on the Karen Reed case. I'm sorry, guys. I'm friggin' starving. I haven't eaten anything today. We can agree to disagree, right? On the Karen Reed case. No doubt. I don't care what side of that you're on. This is a whole nother issue, okay? You can believe Karen Reed is innocent, and I can believe she's not. If you're not out harassing people and showing up at their houses and screaming things at them when they're in public and taking pictures of them and videos and making them feel uncomfortable, or going after them on social media with fake accounts or even minions and real accounts, then I don't care if you believe she's innocent or not. Doesn't make you a bad person because you believe something different than I do. We can just agree to disagree on that subject. I'm sure we can find many other things that we agree on. I think it's extremely brave. It is like children, like children. Lisa has been attacked relentlessly. Donna has been attacked, right? There's so many of you, and there's so many that people don't even know about. That's the other thing, right? It's same shit over and over and over and over and over. It's awful. It's just awful. Nobody should have to live like that. And speaking of Free Karen Reed creators, okay, the clip that I'm going to play is exactly, it goes to exactly what you just said, Melissa, okay? Let me see if I can get it up here. Hold on. Flying monkeys are a real thing. Uma, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? That doesn't even make any sense. What are you talking about? Lindsay hasn't turned her back on me. I don't know what you're talking about. Appreciate you, Donna. Let's see. You know, I always feel like the truth always is going to come to light, and that it might not, be right away, but the lies can only go on for so long. You can only keep covering up one lie with another lie for so long, right? But opinions are okay as long as, people aren't fighting with each other. And then see, that's where the problem starts, is people can't just have like these civil debates anymore. Once someone feels like, wait a second, someone kind of got the better of them in an argument or a debate, then they go to the immediate attacks of looks, family, whatever, whatever. Oh, yeah, I had many of those, but many of them also said this, and I'm sure they said it to you, Christina, and I'm sure Melissa, Donna, I'm sure everybody can attest to this. They also said, I can't come out and defend you publicly, even though I know that what's being said is a complete bold-faced lie because I was there, but I can't say anything because I'll be attacked. So I'm sorry. I love you. And you got this. That's what happened right away. Now more people are feeling more comfortable to actually say something because they're realizing staying quiet is what's kept it going this long. Staying quiet is what created this to begin with. It's when people stop being quiet that it becomes no longer a power or a control that someone can use, Well, that's the thing, right? It's the control. And when you think you're someone who's invincible when you're not, you're going to keep making mistakes, Exactly. We can agree to disagree and still love each other. Again, me and Sean, perfect example. Sean thinks she's innocent. I do not. We just don't talk about the case. It's that simple. We just don't. I mean, yes and no. Yes, you're going to be a target if you fight back. But at the same time, if you don't do anything at all, you're still going to be attacked. So what's the difference? The more people that step forward, the better chance of it stopping. The power relies in only a few people coming forward and silencing those few people. If all of the people came forward, people who don't even know each other, why are their stories all very similar, almost identical? It can't be everyone else at that point, right? Can it? I can't believe that he put that in the description. It has to be a $5 or more donation. That's freaking insane, dude. That is freaking insane. See, now I think you're just trying to like be a troll because that's not true. So I don't know where you got that from. Do you have no idea? I don't talk to Grant, so Grant has nothing to do with anything at all. Of course it is. Of course it is manufactured. It's meant for it to be that way on purpose. They have to have this butting of heads or it doesn't make money. Right? It's not exciting, it's not salacious, but also part of it is to hide things. It's to hide things. Bad shit that's been done. Bad shit. I think we all saw those form, if you look back on them after sort of figuring it out, you're like, "Oh shit, I saw where that happened," But again, to each his own, To each his own. See, I don't watch these people. There's not a reason for me to. There's no reason for me to. This is weird questions. Shit that's not even true and doesn't even make sense. Right? It is a full-time job. Imagine doing 2 people. Not just 1, but 2. Then having a household and other children to take care of and your own health, You can say that again, Donna. You can say that again. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Love the rain. Thank you so much. That was very nice of you. I've gotten used to it at this point. I've gotten used to it at this point, for me, I just don't care anymore. They can say whatever the fuck they want about me. Because anybody who knows me in real life knows how stupid it sounds. Anybody else, I don't really care. I don't care about a bunch of people on the internet that don't know me. I care about you guys because you guys get to know me. You guys are here all the time. You're here, you're engaging, you're, sending me things when you're not here. You're checking in on one another. Like, I love this community for that reason. That's the kind of freaking community you want. You do not want a toxic community of people that will just use a dog whistle of you saying someone's name and off they go to harass that person, because that can land you in jail. Instead, he fosters that hate, that anger. Yep, let's use that as a control tactic. I can do all this bad shit and hide it because anybody will lie for me. That's where it started to get out of control a long time ago, because anybody will lie for him. That's half the problem. I love you, Donna. Listen, and this just goes to show, I don't give a shit whether you're free Karen Reed or not. All right. This is wrong, right? Bad behavior is bad fucking behavior, no matter where it's coming from. It just, don't do shit to people you don't want done to you. Exactly, Jesse. I don't want to get yeeted, so I had to fix it. We're buffering. It's all about power, my friends. It's all about power. Everything's about power. I think the fun was taken out of it a long time ago when I started using other people as a way to harass and intimidate people they had petty beefs with, jealousy issues with. You know how many sock accounts I've been blamed for? So many, and I don't have a single one. I have one account. One. I say what I want from my account because I want people to know it's coming from me. I also have this platform. So why would I have a sock account if I have this platform that I pretty much say, I'm not afraid to say a goddamn fucking thing. I'm not like him. I don't need a spreadsheet of all the fake accounts that I have. Why do you need that many fake accounts is the question. Oh, to overload your numbers, to give yourself more views. Sorry, I don't have time for that shit. The fact that he does is freaking insane, No, I'm not here to change your mind. It's going to believe what she's going to. No, I don't. I have no idea who it is. I never did, but I will clarify one thing that somebody sent me a screenshot of this morning that Dag said that that account shared Meredith's court docs with me. No, those were shared on Twitter. So that never happened. So it's like, why just say shit when you have zero evidence and zero proof of it? Because when you do that, you're spreading misinformation. I didn't get her court documents from anyone. They were posted on Twitter and it was one page. Like, what? What? You can't just make shit up and hope that it's true, You just can't. You just can't. That is the shit that hurts people. That's the shit that fucking hurts people. And it's unfortunate, Melissa, because, and I'll say this, she's not a good person either. She could give a shit less about anybody who helped her live that life that she's living, all that money, all those trips, all the, she could care less about any of the people that stood on the side of the road for her, and that's unfortunate. But once again, I think anybody who would appreciate, like, I'll tell you this, if I had people fighting for my life, right, and I was actually an innocent human being, I definitely 100% would show them how. Sorry, guys, me and fucking StreamYard are going to fight today. It keeps giving me the buffering. I think, here's the thing, right? In the beginning of all of this, I thought Karen could be innocent too. There was no evidence out at that point. This was in the very, very beginning, the first 3 months, right? But as I started getting non-public information, and my sources were bringing me more stuff, I started realizing, oh shit, like, totally, people are being duped. Like, this is no good. This is bad. And so for me, DJ, it's more about a lot of these people, don't realize the toll. They don't realize what's happening. They've been sucked into it until they're on the other side or stepped out of it. And it's kind of like why some people from cults help other people escape these cults, because they know their mindset. They know that don't realize some of these things. And what kind of people would we be if we were just like, okay, you were free here and read at one point and you were supporting all this, so like we will not help you. I mean, there are people on that short list that I will never help, but they know who the fuck they are. Just basic, regular, everyday people, what kind of person would I be if I just turned my back on them and said, oh, too bad. You were involved in it. So was Natalie at one point, and she's been taken in with open arms. So it's like, where do you draw the line of who deserves and who doesn't? At least in my book, everyone is deserving of a second chance or help, especially when they've been manipulated and brainwashed, because you can't do worse to a person than fucking that. I would rather be punched in the fucking face. I had an abuser. I know what, coercive control is like for many years. And that's essentially what it is, coercive control. Takes a toll on everyone, I'm not here to change anyone's mind, although I think, if they went back maybe on the case and from a new perspective of like, okay, nothing, go back to the beginning and look, that maybe they would find some things that made more sense to them now. But again, it's not up to me to change it. That case is over. A useful criminal idiot. Yeah, it's exactly what he was. And nobody should ever be doxxed or harassed, intimidated into silence, Well, that's the thing. It's, Papa Sean, many people call him that. Nobody should have to deal with all of that stuff. At one point, Lisa was friends with Aiden too, but she doesn't condone the shit he does. And she has spoken out. And so it's like, at what point do we say, okay, in order to stop this from continuing to hurt people, everybody has to stand together and speak their own truth of what happened. And when you have everyone standing together and speaking their own truth, their stories are quite damning in the way that they're similar. These people don't know each other, don't even live in the same fucking states or even countries, some of them, okay? Absolutely. Whoop, whoop, New Jersey. Yeah, I don't know much about who that account would be. I didn't really pay much attention to like who it could. I mean, I have my suspicions on who it could be, and my suspicion wasn't him specifically, but my top 5 points in my head. Well, I think all of my top 5 points are the data, right? I mean, it's down to the minute John's phone stops moving. I actually saw somebody yesterday on social media saying like, well, he took steps after no, there was no steps taken. Those steps were taken before they ever arrived at Fairview. So again, if you line up like the documents, the actual documents to show the time of the steps versus the time they arrived at Fairview and the time of all of her data from her car, it's before they ever arrive at Fairview. The steps are fucking irrelevant because they don't happen at Fairview. They happen before her and John ever arrive. And the fact that his phone stops moving forever when her car reverses, and then it never moves again. It's found underneath him. It's in his back pocket. I mean, there's no much damning evidence you can get other than that and pieces of taillight found in his clothes while his phone stopped moving the exact 1 minute, not even a minute after that car backs up at high speed. I mean, it's literally like taking a snapshot in time, But again, at this point, I don't think that's changing anybody's mind. They're going to believe what they're going to believe regardless, and that's okay. Oh, yeah, for Jen McCabe. You know, I think Chris Albert went for one too at one point, you know? So, I mean, it's sad. I think this is Massachusetts, so there's that, you know? Absolutely. It starts and ends with him. It always starts and ends with him, 100%, you know? And that should give us a clue, right? That should give us a clue on it being a troll, is when you can't see it because that person you probably already blocked. That's funny. Could be, no, is. There is not a could be. Everything starts and ends there. Everything starts and ends there. The person has to be protected by him because he holds his secrets. So if that person goes down, he's going down with him possibly. So therefore, that person has to be protected and y'all need to be silenced. That's how it works. I've watched it over and over and over and over and over and over for the last however many years at this point. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, she blocked him and said he's a liar. And so she blocked him in her phone. And I'm assuming also social media, but hey. Oh, hey, see, you and Donna from New Jersey, you have at least better laws in your state for cyber stalking and harassment than some other states do. That's for sure. You know? I love that. That's so funny. Oh, and you're Colorado. Hey, Colorado's beautiful. You know? You know? Listen, Lindsay's a big girl. I promise you, if there was anything dangerous, she'd call. If something happened, she would call me. And she knows that, you know, we'd figure out whatever it is. I think, you know, the amount of nonsensical bullshit these people post and say is fucking insane. Oh, she's drunk. She's high. She's not drunk. She's not high. Maybe a little nervous, but not drunk, not high. It's literally how she always looks, always sounds. I mean, these are people who don't even know her. They don't even know her. They don't even know her. So you're going to judge how she looks or sounds based on what? What's your baseline? It's how she always sounds and always looks. Other than being maybe a little nervous because she's doing a video, she's fine. Like the amount of comments of people saying the most disgusting shit. Like, shame on you. Shame the fuck on all of you. None of these people know each other, you know? Listen, I hear you. She knows it's always an option to come here if she needs to. Always. Let's see. Now, let me see if I can pull this clip up because it just speaks to like how out of touch, how hypocritical some people are when it comes to saying you don't like it when it's done to you, but you do it to other people, right? You know? So let's see if I can pull this clip up real quick here. I think it's this one, right? Yep. Okay. So this is Melanie Little's show. This is something that was said recently, I guess. Dag posted it, something about her hating broils. But the context of what I was listening to spoke differently to me in a way where she complains about people posting pictures of her kids, bus stop or something, of her family, and then how, you know, people say vile, awful crap about her and her family, and they should never be allowed to do that or hide behind fake accounts and then not have any consequences. Yet she gets on her show and she disparages people like Lindsay all the fucking time, talks shit about people all the fucking time. So it's like you're tone deaf at this point. You are fucking tone deaf. Here's an idea. Stop doing it to other people. Stop being a hypocrite. I do not ever get on like she doesn't just start talking about someone I don't know or haven't. Like, I get on here when I'm not doing another case and we talk about topics like bullying, and this is brought up because I have many victims of the same fucking person over and over and over, okay? Or the same group of people. She does not. She just wants to ride the FKR train until it can't choo-choo no more.
know that, but I have no idea. Jason Broyles used to go by Haley Walbrecht and had a female profile picture and befriended apparently a lot of people pretending to be a woman named Haley Walbrecht. And if you don't know the lore behind that, that involves me, is that when I started reporting on this case in January of 2024, this Haley Walbrecht account was very active on Twitter and very hateful and being mean to, I guess, a lot of people that were on the other side of Free Karen Read. So the anti side, I don't know what you call it. Kept threatening to do things and threatening to release Lindsay Gattani's private information. And then the trolls thought that it was me behind that account. And people like Grant Smith Ellis and Lindsay and all of these other people, and Kate Peter, the Mass Hole Mafia,
and she blames Lindsay for all of those people saying shit to her. Lindsay had nothing to do with
started coming for me.
Anyone
and
saying
I didn't
anything
use
to
Twitter.
Melanie.
I had an account that was like a decade old.
Lindsay had nothing to do with anybody saying shit to Melanie
doing
about
such things as
the fact that she would even
posting
blame her
pictures of my children, posting pictures of where my children went to school, posting a picture of my children's bus stop, as if to say, we know where your kids are and we know how to get to you, so you better shut up.
I wonder who else does that. Melanie? Melanie. Do you know who else does that, Melanie? The sewer turtle. Your buddy, the one you simp for most of the time. Him? Yeah, that guy. That's the guy. It's the guy you simp for. He's the guy that pulls the puppet strings, who attacks other people in the same way, the exact same way that you are complaining about right this very fucking second that shouldn't happen to you and that there should be some accountability for, while on the other side of your mouth arguing for the dude. I mean, it doesn't get more fucking hypocritical than that, now does it? It sure the hell does not. We shall continue with the hypocrisy.
And this Haley Walbrecht person, although they denied being me on the cesspool of Twitter, did not ever reveal their true identity until sometime way later. Yeah, he caused a lot of problems for a lot of people, not just me. And then they thought, before they thought it was me, they thought it was someone else, like a priest. And they went and they attacked him. And then they went and they visited people. Like it was wild. I left Twitter. I'm like, I have no time for this. I don't know what this is about. It has nothing to do with me. But when you go posting a picture of my kid's bus stop, we got a problem. I've got everything saved. It's all archived.
You don't care about
all this comes out
right,
about who was doing what. And I'm dying to know too, because I have not clicked on any links about her cell phone extraction. I don't care, but I want to know if she was talking about me, if she was having people look up my address, and if she was having people post these pictures.
So here we go, right?
That's horrific. And this
right now, right that very second, she complains about people saying that account was her, right? Complains about it. People are saying it's me, it wasn't me, blah, blah, blah. And then goes on to blame Lindsay for, I want to know if people are going after me because of her. Like, she has nothing to do with why people thought you were that account. She had absolutely nothing to do with it. Nor did she fucking care. So the fact that you really think that in the extraction is going to be some like, oh, like, she didn't send anybody after you. Okay, you weirdo. That's fucking weird. One side of your mouth, you're complaining about the same behavior you're cheering on, lady. Make it make frigging sense.
Haley Walbrecht person who claims to be a victim advocate should have seen what was going on with me, because was, very involved over there. I left Twitter. I was like, I'm getting out of here. They thought it was funny. They thought that I rage quit Twitter because I was whatever behind this account. No, not true.
No,
I don't have time for it. I'm an adult. I don't sit on my phone all day and spew hateful things about people from a fake account. And by the time that Haley Walbrecht revealed himself to be Jason Broyles, and I don't know if he was outed or if he decided to just,
I think it was outed,
do the right thing and let everyone know that, it wasn't Melanie Little, it was really him. Grant Smith Ellis was calling for people to have me disbarred, calling for people to write letters to the New York Bar Association.
Your behavior
is wild. And they all got involved. Jennifer Coffendorfer, all of them. And it's all documented. So when you say like ignore the troll, I'm not ignoring the trolls. They are going to be called out. They are going to be held to account.
She knows, Donna. She knows who's
shit
behind
like this
it.
shouldn't
Make
be
no
allowed to
mistake.
go on.
Oh,
it shouldn't be allowed to just, get out there behind a fake name.
Oh.
I think there's never going to be any ramifications for your behavior.
Oh.
And then I saw Nan Gallagher posting something today that was very cryptic. Like,
Nan.
it's like, I don't know, something about, you guys, somebody sent it to me, something about like, when the hunted becomes the hunter, you better
Why did
watch
you take
out.
it that way?
I don't know what that's all about.
Well,
because she was kind of not so
Melanie
blatantly accusing me of being behind some other account named John Barron and coming for her. I don't time for that. I don't time for it. I don't care. I don't care about the drama. But again, when the drama is going to involve me and they're going to try and involve me and pretend that it's me. And then when people are saying to her, oh, you're saying it's Melanie Little. And she's saying, I'm not saying it's, I'm not naming any names. I'm not.
Okay. I can't, you guys. I can't. Okay. I can't. I literally can't. The hypocrisy level is at a fucking all-time fucking high. Okay. At an all-time high. You're complaining about the same shit you're doing right that very second in that stream and cheering on a daily fucking basis. That choo-choo train of money you're riding, it's based upon doing that to people. People who have a different opinion. Okay? People who don't fall into the category of, God forbid, I will tell you right now, I have had people from the other side comment on my posts on Facebook or Twitter. Someone runs back to Aiden with a screenshot. He immediately is messaging them. How dare you speak to her? She's a horrible person. No real reason why. Just, because he said so, right? Because I'm an enemy. I'm an enemy also because I'm friends with Lindsay, so that makes me just an enemy on top of it. Before I was just an enemy because he lied and got caught, but now I'm an enemy because I'm a friend of Lindsay's. So, now I'm an enemy because of that. But the amount of hypocrisy in that 4 minutes that I had to sit through is fucking gross. Okay? Absolutely gross. First of all, I've never seen pictures of her kids online. That's at the time that happened. And I was around the time that happened. Never saw it. Don't know what the fuck she's talking about. But the fakeness is amazing to me. Cheering on riding that money train, but no problem whatsoever. No fucking problem whatsoever with allowing it to be done to other people. As long as it's not her, right? As long as it's not her. Oh boy. Listen. Again, anybody who to be here, you don't, listen. You have every right to like whoever you want, watch whoever you want. I'm not that place, like the Sewer Turtles place, that's going to tell you who to watch, why, I'm just pointing out the very fucking obvious here of you're literally cheering on the same fucking bullying behavior that you're saying shouldn't happen to you. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it the fuck out at all. It just, it frustrates me that people don't do better. And they don't do better for one simple reason. If they get up and stand up and do better and say, wait a second, this is not good behavior, okay, against someone who is anti-Free Karen Reed, then they will be attacked. They will lose subscribers. They will lose money. They will be attacked. So they just say nothing instead. They just say nothing. And in my book, you have a platform. You're allowing it to happen. You only speak up when it happens to you. That makes you just as bad as the people fucking doing it because you don't say shit when it happens to someone else. You don't care. As a matter of fact, you laugh about it on your own streams. It's pretty sad. It hurts my brain too. Literally. I can't. I don't understand, what the deal is with like Nan didn't say anything about her, so that's just weird. It's the ego at that point, Listen, the Maya Kowalski case sits very close to my heart for a multitude of reasons. One being because my daughter has a very rare illness like Maya. And And so many, as someone who's been in volunteer advocacy as long as I have seen Maya's case play out in different families for fucking years. And they just don't get the kind of publicity that Maya's did. And unfortunately, Maya lost her mom because of all of that. And it was unjust and it was wrong, but it happens every fucking day. But that case does sit very near and dear to my heart. You know, that's there might be, DJ, at this point, because I've had to correct her. I'm not an attorney. Most people know I am not. I'm not a fucking attorney. I know a lot of the law. I wanted to be an attorney. My obviously life didn't take me in that path because of, medical and stuff. But I know more than the average bear, quite a lot more than the average bear. And I've had to, and Bettero too. Matter of fact, it was like last year, I think, where I had to argue with him about, oh God, what was it? The manslaughter law here? Or mens rea? I can't remember which specific one. Oh, he tried to tell me that our murder too includes intent here. It does not in the state of Massachusetts. And if you're going to represent a client that you're trying to represent at that point, he was trying to represent her. Maybe you would know the fucking laws that, especially the charges she's charged with. You might want to know that it doesn't include intent in the state of Massachusetts. And he argued with me about it like a fucking idiot instead of actually, I don't know, doing any research. Yeah, there's that. I scream once in a blue moon, and that's when I'm really upset. Otherwise, I mean, I'm a little loud just because Spanish and Irish, so comes with the territory. But the screaming, the weird facial expressions. Now, I have a lot of facial expressions, but that one, there's something about it. It irks the hell out of me. Listen, I love reading documents to people because there's a lot of legalese in it, and a lot of people don't understand it, so they appreciate it when you go over a good document. But her commentary based on who wrote the document is a whole nother, problem. Well, that's the thing, right? It shouldn't happen to anybody. Anyone. Probably, but I believe actually it was through other people that she became aware of him. Well, that's it. That's exactly what it sounds like now, right? The cool kid club. That's what they all want to be a part of, this cool kid club, Maya is a victim ultimately. And unfortunately, the medical field does not like it when you push back as a parent. They fucking hate that. They hate that. They hate it. Am I frozen? Am I still frozen or no? Am I frozen? Doesn't look like I should be frozen right now. That is weird. I don't know why you would care where she sat, right? But that's okay. You can have a different opinion. Everybody's allowed their opinion as long as they're not, being disrespectful or an asshole, then that's all right. Listen, I applaud anybody who steps forward and says, this is not okay. This behavior is not okay. Yeah, I don't know. StreamYard and me are going to fight today. That's what we're going to do. I don't think that's serious. I think that was a joke, as a matter of fact. I think that was a joke where she was saying like she wanted to run for Norfolk DA or something like that. Like, why would he care where she sat? He sat next to the juror. I mean, I guess Shapiro wasn't a happy camper that day then, right? Like, I'm sorry, what now? Who? What now? What? Hey? English? Not understanding. It's called the club. I mean, I talked about this the other day, but that motion reads like a whiny, petulant child is throwing a temper tantrum, throwing a bunch of random people in there that has nothing to do with the case whatsoever, and saying, Your Honor, all these people don't like me because they have this fake syndrome that I made up. And I'm going to give you the dates on the days they decided they didn't like me anymore. And I'm going to tell you why they don't like me anymore. You can't give somebody else's state of mind on why they don't like you. They don't like you because they found out you're a liar. That's why they don't like you. They don't like you because they figured out you're an egotistical narcissist that harms people. That's why they don't like you. But in the whiny motion, He proclaims that everybody has turtle derangement syndrome that doesn't exist and isn't a real thing. It's just a way to disparage people who say, hey, he did X, Y, and Z. Oh, no, you have this fake syndrome that we made up now when you speak out against him. Again, gaslighting, victim blaming. Right? You get the fucking bootski. Is she serious? No fucking way. No fucking way. I know, it hasn't even been filed. Also, the judge is going to want to know if it's brought up in court that it was sent out to social media before it was ever filed with the court. It's a bad look. The judge wants to know why you would send it out to social media before sending it to the court, because it gives them your intent. Just to rile up a bunch of people and then take a bunch of that crap out, I presume, before you actually send it into the judge. Because I would be fucking embarrassed to put that in. And a paralegal should be embarrassed to put that in. The repetitiveness of the same recycled complaints over and over and over. It literally looks like it, but Betterow actually admitted to writing it. So, I mean, freaking embarrassing if you ask me. She was perceived as, because she was sitting next to the juror's husband or juror's wife. Was it her husband, wife? That's so weird. Perceived. I love, just because she was sitting there. So insane. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but Betterow actually took the heat on that one and said he wrote it. Oh man. It's hilarious. I mean, here's the thing, right? The amount of people afraid to step forward, or the amount of people that have been silenced, harassed, demeaned, made fun of on both sides of this case is gross. Okay? But you have to remember a few things. And I wouldn't admit to it either, DJ, but it happened. He admitted to it. He admitted to it. Simply this. When you have a lot of people that know shit that you did wrong, and I don't just mean like wrong, like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, that was mean. I mean wrong like blackmail and threats and doing things against court orders. Aiden knows if he gets caught canoodling with Jason releasing that phone extraction that he gave him, ultimately, that they both already admitted to Aiden giving him a long time ago, that can spell big trouble, right? For Aiden and Jason. So he's going to try to protect him, because if you don't, you're going down with the ship, right? You're going down with the ship. The problem with that is the judge was very clear about that extraction. And it was that all of the copies he had given out were to be clawbacked and destroyed. You destroy all fucking copies. And nobody, not even third party, will be able to distribute it. People just assume that because they're not part of the court case, that means, if they distribute it, they're all good because they're not part of the court case or under the order. Yeah, the problem with that is if he gave you a copy of it and then you release it, you are a third party. You already attached yourself to it by taking the copy from him that you knew by law was supposed to be destroyed and is under a protective order. So you are a third party. And so Aiden has to protect those third parties. If he does not, he is the one who gets screwed ultimately for it. Now, make no mistake, I fully believe, and again, I don't know this to be true, but I fully believe that he told him to release it. Fully believe that. I fully believe it was planned. It makes no sense otherwise. It's under a protective order. I don't know why anyone on planet Earth would want to release it and put themselves in that scenario or situation. Really doesn't make much sense to me why anybody would want to do that. Nonetheless, people did do that. And so there's probably gonna be some repercussions by the court. I mean, the judge was very clear, and because he just recently, put the order, like redid, was like, no, this stays in effect. Sorry, not sorry. He's saying Jason released it because she's suing her. No, people saying released it immediately after he blew his dog. Yeah, that's the other thing. So he literally blew the dog whistle and was like, somebody else can release it, and then boom, it was released. That is called a dog whistle, folks. And the court is not dumb. If you go into a court and say to the judge, Your Honor, and there's proof, you said it in your show, and then a day or two later, it's magically released. The judge knows that that is a dog whistle. You're a third party. You released it. You got it from him, and then you released it. It doesn't matter when you got it from him. Ultimately, any copies were supposed to be destroyed. And he's going to be held accountable. Aiden's going to be held accountable. He blew the dog whistle and said, oh, anybody else could release it. And then it was released. If you go into that court pretending like you're not responsible, you're going to get your ass handed to you by the judge. You might just want to get in there and beg for fucking mercy. Judges don't like when you come in there and play fucking stupid, especially when it's blatantly obvious. Because then they just see you as a sneaky fuck. It's not going to help you going forward either. They know you're going to try to play semantics. And so then they're going to make it worse. Except he was not arrested in front of his kids. That's hilarious to me. See, she should probably not speak on things she doesn't know. He was not arrested in front of his children. His children got on the bus, and that bus drove away. The cops made sure of that before they arrested him. He even admitted later on that his kids didn't see anything. First, he made people believe his kids saw him get arrested. Then later on, he said, well, I talked to my kids when they got home from school. Now, this was live once again. And no, they didn't even know what happened. They didn't see anything. But then after that, he still went on this, feel bad for me. I was arrested in front of my children brigade. And then people bought his children all these new Christmas gifts and iPads, and all because they searched his house. They didn't take his kids, Christmas gifts. They didn't take his kids toys. I spent last Christmas, half of my Christmas Eve, in a shelter, distributing toys to families in that shelter, because I got a call and somebody asked me to come down and help. There was only one lady and her son there, and it was her son's birthday nonetheless. The kid was only like 8 or 9, and he was helping us. So I went down and I helped, and I spent most of my Christmas Eve helping. I'm a low-income family myself, dude. I mean, those toys could have went to many other kids in shelter, homeless families. His children didn't need all new toys. People didn't need to send him thousands of dollars because he got arrested. He got arrested because of his own actions. His own actions. Nobody held a gun to his head and told him to do it. He did all of that on his own. No ifs, ands, or buts. There's no giant conspiracy. He chose to do X, Y, and Z. Therefore, got the consequences of doing X, Y, and Z. Don't commit crimes if you don't want to be arrested and charged with them. It's really not hard. Well, people don't. They don't. They just assume they do because they've been told, right? And it's like, if you're not taking a good look at what you've been told, you're right. Any third party release is a violation. I couldn't even bother. I mean, she did a countersuit, and I don't blame her. I would too. You got to fight back in some way. I mean, they thought she would just lay down and take it. I don't think she should have to just lay down and take it, Absolutely. Now there's a countersuit, and if I was her, I probably would have done the same thing. Yeah, it is on camera. When he got arrested, it's on camera. His kids are not there. They do not see him get arrested, Which one, Julie? Which hearing? Ooh, London. I need to visit. That's on my bucket list, along with Australia, the Netherlands. I have a couple places on my bucket list. New York. I gotta love New York. My husband's grandfather lives in New York. Yeah, see? I mean, to me, it's like, all that stuff could have went to people who really, really did need it. His kids didn't need it. It was a way for a feel bad for me, you know? Well, she's not going to be the only one. I mean, eventually it'll happen, but she doesn't have any ongoing, like, it's hard to explain. Like, she's a victim in the ongoing criminal cases, but even the stuff on her counterclaims, the judge is probably going to pause all of that until the criminal stuff is over or almost over. So there's really no point in filing it until that's almost over anyway, because the judge is just going to probably put a pause on it because of that. So, oh, okay. Yeah. I haven't seen anything yet to see, like, on the docket for that. But they might just do it at his already scheduled court date. He already has one on, I think it's either the 24th, 26th. I do have the Zoom information for Karen's stuff tomorrow, so that we will be doing. I have all of that information for that hearing to see what happens in the civil stuff tomorrow. But really, today I wanted to focus more on, like, what makes this shit okay. None of this shit is okay, dude. None of it. And my point is if there's other victims, and again, I get more and more victims all the time of this, and it's from the same core group of people that the sewer surrounds himself with. And it's unfortunate because you don't have to like someone, right? You don't have to. You can just move on and say, you know what, I choose not to watch that person. I choose not to engage with that person, block, mute, whatever. There are too many people that instead of doing that, decide they're going to take it upon themselves to harass, demean, even blackmail, okay? Threaten people into silence and to go away. Don't fall for it. You're giving them that power. You're giving them that power. You know, I'm never going to sit silent and allow people to suffer. You have to go back to the beginning and say, why? What is the motivation behind silencing people? What is the motivation of all of it? And it's a simple answer: self-preservation. If the people helping do dirty shit and illegal shit go down, he has a chance of going down with them. It takes one person to flip over and say, look at my phone, look at all this. That's all it takes. Therefore, the people involved with harassing other people have to be protected, right? So if, for instance, Jason Broyles is harassing someone, he's got to be protected by Aiden. Otherwise, it's a very real possibility that if something happens, he'd be like, well, I didn't have it. This is what I was told. Here you go. I'm going to be charged. It's all connected to self-preservation, you know? It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I mean, that's just sad, right? For what? Like, for what? Oh, for what? For an opinion? Cool. You don't have to agree. We don't have to. Everybody could agree to freaking disagree, right? It doesn't have to happen that way. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Just doesn't. I'm not ever going to sit quietly and allow people to. Sorry. I was buffering. I'm never going to sit silently and allow people to be bullied and shamed and harassed into oblivion. It's not okay. It's just not. And it shouldn't matter whether someone is for or against the trial. The trial's over. Okay? That trial, that criminal trial is over. The amount of hate that was spread is still just festering and festering and festering online. And every day, some of those very unhinged individuals get these dog whistles. And once those dog whistles are given, they go right to harassing any person's name who's mentioned. Doesn't matter who it is. You could mention a new name today of someone, and immediately that's what you'll see. The problem with that is most of the people being harassed or intimidated are witnesses in some shape or form. You are a witness if you have knowledge of a crime or evidence of a crime. You're a witness or potential witness, which, at least in my state, covers you under the witness intimidation statute. Somebody cannot retaliate against you for opening your mouth, telling on them, standing your ground, threaten you, blackmail you, because then you can be charged with witness intimidation. Sending a mob of people to harass you is witness intimidation. You know? Well, that's exactly it. Normal people don't do that, right? Normal people don't, go, oh, hey, I don't agree with this person. I don't like blue. I don't like blue. They like yellow. We can't be friends. They don't like blue and I like blue and they like yellow. That we have to fight. We have to start, verbally assaulting each other and, pulling up everyone's past and trying to take their pain and twist that into some reason why they should be hated or why they're bad. That's not normal. No normal person does that. It's not. And if I don't call it out on both sides, what kind of person would I be? What kind of person would I be? If I didn't, it's bad no matter who does it or what side it happens on. You can't just pick and choose. Well, I don't like this person, so fine, let it happen. But this person is totally okay. It's bad all around. It's bad for everyone. Okay? It's not nice, first of all. But beyond it not being nice, because, I really don't give a shit about whether it's nice or not. It harms people. That's what I give a shit about. The emotional and mental drain that it puts on someone. Like, I wear my dad around my neck, okay? The father that raised me and adopted me is in this necklace because he took his own life. I won't allow anyone else to feel like they're on the edge of that bridge that they need to be pulled back from because of something like this. Oh, just dealing with some hypocritical stuff, she said, and pointing out how sort of hypocritical it was, for me. Well, I mean, that's the other thing. They don't care whose money they harm. They don't care if it's my income that they harm by doing it. They don't care if it's Donna's income they harm by doing it. They don't care. As long as it helps make them money, that's okay, right? As long as it helps them make money, they don't give a shit. That's economic harm. Can be sued for that. It's also part of the witness intimidation statute. Can argue about how you think the statute is broad or too broad. Doesn't matter. It's still the fucking statute. It's still the law of this land. A lot of it is one-sided, Michael. You are correct. But I'm not that person. It's wrong no matter who it happens to. The way Jen O'Donnell was treated was fucking disgusting. And then when she was at her breaking point and said, listen, I'm feeling like I, want to harm myself. This is awful. They mocked her, made fun of her, thought it was fucking hilarious. A mental health break is super funny, apparently. That's disgusting. That's deplorable. And when I saw it happening, I reached out to Jen to check on her. Now, we might not agree on the case, and I might not agree with some things that she said or even done, but nobody should feel like their life is worth ending. And I will tell you how many people I have pulled off of that teetering edge from being harassed online, and it's too many. One is too many. But at this point, we're way over that fucking limit. Way over that limit. What they did to Jen was mean, vile, awful, terrible. And then they moved on to other people. Esty. She took someone's seat. That never happened, by the way. Just let's make something abundantly clear. That never happened. Okay? That never happened. She didn't take anybody's seat. It's just a lie they tell for why people need to hate her and not like her. It's not okay. There was no reason for them to bully her, treat her that way, insult her, throw out threats. Vague, but still threats. Mean girl her. For what? For what? Other than making themselves feel better for doing it, for what reason did it need to be done? It didn't. And I reached out to her too because it's the right fucking thing to do. And we probably have a lot more in common than we even realize. And it turns out that we did have a lot in common, actually. You know? It isn't okay. None of it is okay. Jesse's saying hi to you, Michael. He can't see you guys' comments because he's on X, so I have to pop his up on the screen and vice versa so he can see yours and you guys can see his. Oh, yeah. Random shit to my... Yeah. Well, you have no idea. I haven't even told you guys the actual length of things that I've dealt with, because if I did, you'd be like, this, what? And it's never ending, right? Never freaking ending. It's never ending. They think if they just keep doing it, that it will shut me up or I'll go away or I'll stop talking about how awful it is to do to people. It won't. I'm not going to, you know? Bingo. A genuine person is always a threat to them. Partly why I was such a threat, because I actually give a shit to want to do good, right? To want to do better. And because I have a lot of experience in doing this kind of shit. I spent years, over a decade before making a YouTube channel, doing volunteer advocacy work and helping people. Many, many years. Okay. So when you see someone who actually gives a fuck, actually cares, like they just care about people and things, like, you know, and helping and trying to make things better, that's an instant threat. Because if people see someone that's an actual caring, compassionate person, that becomes a problem for them. That becomes a problem for them. You know, it's unfortunate that people still fall into this whole thing, and then they can't see it. That's the part that gets me. It's like, you can't see it. It's right in front of you. And you're helping it hurt people. Maybe it's time to take a step back and look at what you're helping, right? It is scary. And you know, because you are from an affected community, on how much damage it has done to people in their lives, in real life. People just, oh, it's online. It's not real life. You're right. It's not real life. Okay? You're right. But it goes from social media to their real lives, which it never should. Which it never should. Okay? Period. It never should. It should never move from social media into someone's real life. But it does, and it is. You know? Michael says, hello. It needed to stop a long time ago. You know? A long, long time ago. And this is a perfect comment right here. Julie's got it. It's frustrating that people typically don't see it until they're the target. And then what happens is, once they're the target, they start to realize really quickly that, holy shit, if he could lie about me that way so easily lie, then how many other people did he do that to? That is the moment that you go, holy shit. He uses that as, oh, they're just mad because I called them out or I exposed them. No, quite the opposite. You realize that if he can lie about you the way he did, then you cannot be the only one he's done it to. And that means that there are a lot more people that he lied about. And if he went as far as he went with you, God knows how far he went with someone else. You know, I'd love to hear from Dave. Just never saw him, right? Again? No? Yeah? There's way more than that. Way more than that. But that's, it's a good start of a list, but way more. There are so many more people don't even know about. So many more. Do you have the amount of people that have come to me? And I'm not talking with just like saying it, like with actual evidence. It's gross. Okay. Well, I've said this a million times. This is why I say, like, both sides have this problem. Both sides have this problem. And it needs to fucking stop because it doesn't matter who it is. Anti-free hear and read, free hear and read. I don't care who it is, right? I don't give a shit one way or another. It's hurting people, real people. It's not okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. I mean, I get it. And it's unfortunate because you can't be okay with it on one side and then not be okay with it on the other. It's not okay, period. It's not okay, period. There's shit that happens that a lot of you guys don't even know about. And the amount of hurt that it has done to people is a lot. And it's all for the same same reason. Control, money, power. It was horrific. I haven't talked to her recently, so I'm not sure. But it was like same thing that they did to Esty. It's like a pack of rabid wolves. It literally is like a pack of rabid wolves. As soon as that name is given of a person that he's talking about, it's instant. It's instant. Literally instant. All the fake accounts of various people, accounts that are specifically for trolling, okay? People. It has happened to. He's a content creator who did content way back in the early days of this. I'd say started when I did around 2023. Who just disappeared, Yeah. So this is what makes a lot of people wake up. You're not the only one, and it's unfortunate that it has to happen that way. But I will say this, when it happens to one person, it's not just one person. Then those person's loved ones or friends from even just social media are watching it, know some of it isn't true, and automatically realize like, oh shit, this is a bad person, right? Like this is not a good person. And so even though he attacks one person, it has a sort of chain effect of allowing other people to see who he is and what he does. Faster than the speed of light. Well, that was the other problem, right? Was the mean girl shit from Meredith to Esty, and there was no reason. There was no freaking reason. None. Petty jealousy. Esty wasn't the only one who was attacked because of petty jealousy in Meredith, by the way. There were many other people. Many, many other. This whole facade of being some, really classy, nice person. It's not real life. That's not who she is in real life. Not even by a fucking long shot. some people, what you see is what you get, right? Like what you see here is what you get with me in real life. That's, I'm a little more foul-mouthed. I try not to swear as much on YouTube anymore. But besides a little more swearing, this is me. With her, it's everything is a mask, a facade. It's a facade. It's a mask. I am this on the outside, but I use these 10 sock accounts to be very vile and disgusting and use my insecureness on the inside to push outwards onto other people. It's not okay. You can't listen. I was that broken little girl way back in the day. I was very insecure after dealing with my abuser, right? But I did not take it out on other people, right? I self-destructed myself for sure because I was just a broken person at that point in life after all the abuse. But I didn't go out of my way to make other people's lives miserable or to harm them. I didn't do that. That's where I draw the line. You could be broken inside and need some help, and everybody needs some help once in a while. Listen, I've been in therapy for a long time. I have CPTSD, but it is never okay to then take that insecurity that you feel inside and push it out onto others. And that is what the sewer turtle basically does on a daily basis. But I am still to this day getting more and more and more messages, evidence of victim after victim after victim. And, now it's coming from more people on the free Karen Reed side at the moment, but at any point, it could change. So this is why I say it doesn't matter to me whether someone was free Karen Reed or not free Karen Reed. It's irrelevant to me whether they are or they aren't. The bullying, the harassment of people, the relentlessness of it from either side is not okay. It's not fucking okay. And I don't give a shit who doesn't want to hear it or who does want to hear it. That's my opinion on it. It isn't okay. I don't give a shit what side it's happening on or isn't. If you are engaging in harassing someone, putting their, children's pictures and addresses of where they live and their loved ones addresses and calling their loved ones and emailing their loved ones. Like I've had people email and call people that I know. People who don't even know me are doing this. Like, what are you doing? You don't know me. What would make you think that would ever be an appropriate thing to do? Ever. That's not normal behavior at all. Not even a little bit. If you have nothing to hide, right? Would you need to harass people? Would you need to threaten them? Would you need to blackmail them? This is what people fail to realize. If he's out there sending threatening messages to people and trying to silence them, which I'll tell you he does, innocent people don't do that. There's no reason for it. Innocent people don't need to threaten or harass. Sorry, I just smelled like somebody was starting like an outdoor fire, and that smell just immediately hit my nose and made me go into panic mode until I realized it was my neighbor. The smell of fire makes me want to hit the roof because I've had one and it's no fun losing everything you friggin' own. We will attempt to, Jess. We will attempt to. Unless you're going to lead, that's probably not something you should lead doing, right? Is leading by harassing other people. It's just not normal behavior. There's no reason to be putting people's, children's pictures and family pictures. I mean, for Julie, they put her entire family's picture out there. For what? And for what? That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. The only intent in doing that is to hurt someone. When you are going as far as to then make shit up about someone to take digs at them, how many people have been accused of being 72 fake accounts? I mean, I Sorry, my little was asking me a question. I have no idea. I didn't look. I think somebody said that to me, but I didn't look. Again, I've had a hell week, so I didn't look. For instance, Obach has been harassing her, information was posted all over line for no real reason other than someone thinks she's an account she isn't. Listen, I've lived that a billion times over, times 1,000. Somebody believing you're an account that you're not, or trying to get other people to believe you're an account you're not, while actively being that account is one sick human being. You can't accuse 100 people of being an account and then, just say it is them 100% when it's not, and you're just making it up because nobody will listen to your nonsensical bullshit anymore. And unfortunately, Christy has resorted to blaming everybody and anybody for every account she doesn't like. So, there's not much to be said in that department other than everything she fucking says is a bunch of nonsensical bullshit. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Likes just help the algorithm. I wish likes would get people money from YouTube. That would be freaking great. that would be freaking great. No, but the ways to donate are these: Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Revolut, and then these are like the payment apps. Then there are the apps. There's the link at the top of the chat. It's also in the description in the video as well. So if you're on X and you want to donate, you can check the description in the video. It's in there. It's just a link. You can use credit or debit for it. To me, I can't. It's a lot of nonsensical bullshit that's happening that doesn't need to, right? It just doesn't need to. There's so many better things people could spend their time doing, You went to church. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. Seriously. Well, she's I don't know what adjective I want to use right now. Okay. When you think Twitter is a game where you need to have a power person and you using terms such as things like kill shot, kill post, kill switch, whatever the fuck it is, okay? Then it's time to get offline. When you think you're doing investigations on anon Twitter accounts and you've accused 1,000 people of being those, it's time to get off the internet, okay? Enough is enough with the nonsensical crap. It really, really is. Why don't we try spending our time trying to mend this hate and fill it with a little bit of normalcy? All of this vitriol, all of this misplaced anger for people who have an opposing opinion. It doesn't make logical sense. And if somebody else was the one who had covered the case, I don't think you'd see this level of anger and hate. I just don't think you would see it. It was created and it's being kept alive by the same person. If people just stopped for a second and thought, hey, I'm going to have an adult conversation with someone, an adult conversation can go a long way, a long way. It can go a long freaking way. I oftentimes will think about conversations after I've had them with people and how broken some people are when they first contact me. And I feel, their pain. Because what they're going through is a level of harassment that I don't think anybody thought was possible. not only is it not normal, but it takes everything out of you. You can fight the lies, right? But they'll just say, you're lying. They'll just say, your receipts are fake, made up, AI, doctored. You can say nothing, which they'll just keep attacking until the end of time. Or you can try in some way to start having adult conversations with people and trying to figure out how to end this shit once and for all so that there aren't more victims. Because the amount of people that this is broken is, you can't even comprehend, okay? It's not normal for a social media personality to create this level of anger and hate. And then when someone or some ones of the mob of them do it to someone else and someone else and someone else and someone else and someone else, they get a pat on the back. So then they keep doing it. And then they create other people who will do it with them. That's where the control comes from. If those people finally wake up and realize what they're doing is hurting people and that they've been manipulated to do it based on lies, then the control ends. Then there is no more control. Then it's over. Right? Sometimes, I get, listen, you know me. I try to react in the best way possible, but sometimes I got my moments where I'm just like, you know what? Fuck off. Fuck off. Once in a while, I'm just like, I've had enough. Fuck off. Well, I think also they have dirt on each other, so that's not going to work, I really wish, to divide is to conquer. Divide and conquer. Oldest trick in the book. If more people realized divide and conquer is ultimately the crux of any one control pyramid, maybe they'd start working together, right? You don't have to agree on the same everything. Nobody's ever going to agree on the same everything. Me and my husband don't agree on certain things, certain politics, certain, philosophy things. Like, we don't agree on a lot of different things, but we also do agree on a lot of different things. You're never going to agree 100% with someone. What's important is trying to find the things that you do agree on and the things that you find in common and the things that you could enjoy together, and just decide to agree to disagree on the things that you don't. But is it necessary to hate and spew venom and lies and smear? No. Fuck no, dude. And it does so much damage. So much damage to people, I don't know. Is there more than one? I mean, this one's name starts with a K, not a C, but I don't know. I think there's more than one, But there's corruption everywhere. It doesn't have to be because of the topic. There's corruption pretty much everywhere of a multitude of different things. Just because the topic is corruption doesn't mean that people need to go as far as posting each other's addresses and pictures of their children and calling them bad parents and saying things that aren't true and trying to disparage every part of their life or any mistake they've made 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago. I mean, the topic could be anything. I deal with a lot of heavy topics even on this channel because I've been through a lot of those heavy topics myself. And if what I have done before I started this YouTube channel was I used my experiences to help other people. Those horrific things that I went through, and I'm now able to help other people either avoid that altogether or at least try to help them pick up the pieces after it happens to them in a better way than what I had in support way back when. And so I try to use my trauma and the pain for something good. And I was doing that long before I made a YouTube channel. if you're using your insecurity and your anger and your pain and your trauma for something bad and you're harming other people, that's no bueno. You know, there's so much corruption everywhere, all over the place, all over this country, all over many countries, all over the goddamn world. Every freaking where. It might not be public, but there's a little bit pretty much everywhere. I don't think the topic of conversation should be, oh, well, if it's something like corruption or the police, then that means people need to tear each other apart. You don't have to agree. You can agree to disagree. Be like, you know what? Good debate. I don't agree with you. I don't, agree with your whatever. Done. People go even further. Why? They weren't doing that before. Why? Because they are encouraged to do so. They are encouraged to do that behavior. They are manipulated into doing that behavior. Like they're going to get a reward for it. That's the problem. That's the issue. We'll have to disagree on that one. I've seen a lot of people lately say this, that her innocence was proven twice. This is patently false. Her innocence was not proven twice, or she would not have had a second trial. As a matter of fact, 9 jurors voted guilty in the first trial. So realistically, if you want to go by that, she would have been found guilty if you went by how many jurors voted what. Only 3 voted not guilty. She has not been proven innocent twice. Also, someone's not proven innocent. It's guilty or not guilty. That's it. There is no proven innocent. There's no such thing. But she was not proven innocent twice. I've seen that talking point a lot lately, and just people just repeating it. It's patently false. She wouldn't have had a second trial if she was proven innocent twice. If you go found not guilty the first time, you don't have a second trial. She had a second trial because only 9 out of the 12 jurors voted guilty. So therefore, it was not unanimous. Therefore, time to do a do-over. So to say she was proven innocent twice is just a completely misleading and false claim. Appreciate you, Jess. Appreciate you. I mean, yeah, people could definitely argue the same thing, But yeah, nine people thought she was guilty of manslaughter in the first trial. 9 to 3. That is certainly not being proven innocent twice. It's not a thing. Didn't happen. She is lucky she got a second chance, because if all 12 of those jurors had found guilty in the first one, she wouldn't have gotten a second one, Someone posted appropriate motion on X I filed in 1999. That's just weird shit. Like, why? Like, why? Like, why? I mean, I get it. People are going to believe what they're going to believe, and that's totally okay. That's okay, When it's not even just you, but do you see how, like, you typed that out, you wrote it, right? The amount of people that I have seen type that out, well, she was found innocent twice. Boom. Do you want to know why you typed it? And this goes to the crux of exactly what I'm talking about, this sort of mob mentality and hearing it over and over. It's because you've seen it so many times. You've seen people say it so many times on social media that you just popped it right in there, even though it's just not true. That exact thing happens to so many people who are harassed, defamed, slandered, smeared, and not everybody can afford to sue for slander or libel. I can't. Unless my attorney is doing it pro bono. Do you know how many people I would have to sue? I mean, my attorney said he would, but I have to be willing to be like, okay, I'm ready to deal with friggin' years of going to court back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I already, if I have to choose between suing someone and going to court back and forth, and missing that time with my terminally ill kid, then every time it's going to be my kid. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to waste any time because I don't know how much time I have left with her, It's just not going to. Oh, Farwell is, I think everybody can agree on Farwell. But the point is it's repeated over and over and over and over. Therefore, people just automatically believe it, and then they type it out. And they then repeat that to other people who then repeat it, and so on and so forth. And this is what I mean. That kind of, now imagine if that comment had been something like, this person is bad because blah, 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 because it's something that the sewer turtle said, or something that one of his minions said about someone in a way to try to disparage them. That then gets spread around. Multiple people keep saying it. He'll keep saying it on his show. It's a talking point. Therefore, the repetitiveness is a way. This is how mobs work. And I kid you not when I say this is how cults work. It's the repetitiveness of it. It's said over and over and over and over and over until you believe it. It's part of control. It's part of brainwashing. If you don't believe me, look it up yourself. It's unfortunate too, because it works. It works. You just say it enough, people will just keep saying it. But it hurts a lot of people. I think so. I didn't see anything else from her. I mean, did he do that before? Did he like bake muffins? Was that like a thing? You know? And nobody's ever going to agree on everything. They don't have to. You know? They don't ever have to agree on everything. Based on what? That's how it works. You saw it, right? A bunch of times on the internet. You heard it a bunch of times. Otherwise, it's the exact same talking point. She was found innocent twice, but she wasn't. I mean, I've talked about what texts. Butt dials are not proof of anything. I don't know what you mean. Well, that's the problem. They don't think about what it means, right? It's a talking point that just gets repeated and other people repeat it, you know? When exactly did the feds begin investigating being local? Everybody. So the state police asked the federal government to get involved, I guess, at some point. But ultimately, I learned that the Reed stuff was not because of the Birchmore stuff. As a matter of fact, the Reed stuff came from Reed's camp. It had nothing to do with Birchmore. You know? Yeah, I don't know what text you mean. Because I've spoken about all this like in length like a billion times. Do you know how many butt dials, butt Facebook, not just messages, but I mean like video chats I've done with my phone locked? Don't ask me how I've done them, but I've done them. Anybody who's gotten one from me can attest to that. I don't know. I mean, I can't talk, you got to tell me what you're talking about for me to answer that question. Because I don't know why no one would speak about it. I've spoken about it a lot. So I think that's half the problem, though, is nobody really knows her like I do. I mean, she sounded nervous, but that's pretty much it. She's not a content creator, so I'd be a little nervous too if I was making a video. But I definitely have definitely made butt dials dead sober because I don't really drink that much. I drink maybe like 10 times an entire year. I mean, to be fair, if your life was harassed on a daily basis, I think we all need a fucking therapist at this point. You know? Right. I mean, I have gone over all of that stuff in length when it comes to that case. But this wasn't, this stream wasn't really about the case itself. It was more about the silencing that is done to people to not speak about the things that have been done to them, no matter what side it is that they're on, and that's freaking unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't happen. I don't even have an iPhone. I have an Android. iPhones are too expensive. They're too expensive. I don't have an iPhone. We have Androids in this house. My oldest has an iPhone and she's the only one. And to be fair, if she asked for Mount Everest, I would try to give her Mount Everest. So, I mean, listen, when you live as a parent who doesn't know how much time you have with your child on this earth, no, you should never lose your child before you. That should never happen, ever. But when you're a parent who knows that that's going to happen, there is nothing I wouldn't give my child that she asked for. And you can call it spoiling, you can call it whatever the hell it is. She's not a little baby. So, but if you were in my position, you'd probably do the same thing. There is nothing that I wouldn't give her that she asked for, you know? Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are, you know? I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of the iPhones. I like Android. Simple for me. I mean, I know tech, but I don't necessarily think I need an iPhone either, you know? I can pretty much get any app I want on Android. Why do I need to have an iPhone? I've always had an Android, so I never really wanted to switch to iPhone, you know? See, some people like their iPhones, but other people actually switch back and go with the Android, you know? Oh, I'm sure everyone, that's what they do. They come here, they troll a little, take screenshots, you know, whatever. Don't let them bully you, my friend. You know, there's only so much you can do, but you should never be silenced. If that is a way to silence. That is a way to silence. It's a specific way to silence you, to take the screenshots to silence you. Oh, it's been done to many people. Many, many people, you know? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. Lied about what? I'm trying to read this. Maybe I'm reading it out of context. I don't know. Actually lied as she said she did to TV and gave incorrect. I don't about what though? I'm confused. Maybe I'm not caught up on something that happened. I'm not really sure what you mean. You know, I have my suspicions on who that account is. For me, sending is the stuff that he was using drugs when she sent. I mean, she says it was to prove a point that he will report on anything. I still think you could have picked someone else besides a 17-year-old child to send information about to prove that, but I did not know that until like I wouldn't even say recently, maybe not even a year ago is when I found out. But that was incorrect information. That wasn't real information. That was to prove that he would just report on anything. Listen, once they know you're afraid, that's when they try to step on the gas, you know. Don't allow anybody to threaten, bully, silence, and intimidate you, because that's where the power comes from. If you do not allow it, they cannot have it. Do not allow them that kind of power over you in your life. Don't do it. They don't have any if you don't allow them to have it. Once you're afraid, that's what they want. That's what they want. They want you to be afraid. They want you to be quiet and go away, stop talking, and disappear. That's what they want. Don't give in to that. And I love you for that. Screenshot this fucker. That's your voice is your power. And yes, I will still be here to give any voice that power, but do not allow anybody to take it from you. You know? Lindsay didn't set him up. That's just completely false. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. You mean the recording of when he had spent the entirety of the time before that yelling and threatening her, and then hit the button and put it in his pocket and calmed his voice down. Later on, altered it and added in, I'm recording now. By the way, it's not audio. It's a video that he sent before he edited it to multiple people. Multiple people got consciences and gave that to the police. So that's another thing. Like, you're assuming there was no setup. He chose to go there on his own. She got a very real subpoena to testify in front of a grand jury. There was more than one grand jury she had to testify in front of. People don't know these details, so they automatically just assume things they probably shouldn't assume. He went there, and don't make no mistake about it, it had nothing. He didn't go there to talk about pregnancy. He didn't go there to talk about the subpoena. He went there because he wanted to go through her phone and see what she said to Kate. That is his main reason for going there. It was not set up. He went there of his own free will. Period. Selective? I just shared all the, what do you mean? What's selective about telling you exactly what happened? There's nothing selective about that. I literally just told you what happened. just literally told you what happened. There's nothing selective about that's literally what happened. Nothing selective about what I said. It's a complete and bogus lie. Nobody set anybody up. It didn't happen. Lindsay did not set up Aiden. It's not a thing. Like, nothing selective about what I told you. I just literally told you what happened. I mean, here's the thing. I've told the story like 700 times. And also, just FYI, Aiden has admitted to 90% of what happened other than him pushing her onto the couch. It's the only thing he doesn't admit to. He literally matches her exact thing that she has said, except the couch. He admits to all of the rest of it. And because he admitted to the rest of it early on, then it turned into, oh, it's a conspiracy. I was set up. Set up. You chose to go there. You chose to demand to see her phone. You chose to then threaten her and her children if she didn't give you the phone. You chose to then show her an account you had already made that was fake of her and her child as a threat. Tell her you were going to destroy her and her children, which she has done to a multitude of other people, so that she would allow you to look at her phone. I'm sorry, but where in that is a setup? Who made you threaten someone? Who made you go there? No one. No fucking buddy. He wanted to know what she had said to Kate. That is all he cared about. So he went. It's not rocket science. That's literally what happened. And because there's no way out of that other than saying, it's a grand conspiracy, I was set up. Go back years before Karen Reed's case ever existed. See how many times he claimed he was set up before that. Then look at how many times he wasn't actually, quote, set up, but then actually set someone else up. And how it all came out in the end. This is the same scenario. No. At first, he tried to play the whole it's a fake subpoena thing. Except there's no such thing as a fake subpoena. And it's entered into the court system. So he can no longer say fake subpoena because the courts have it on record. Yeah, his own lawyer, Karen, multiple people told him, don't go over there. And he did it anyway. Like a fucking dumbass. Why? Because his need to know, his ego, his control, his narcissism was more fucking important to him. Yeah, that's it. You made her grabbing something out of her hands, but not pushing her onto the couch, which was the notes, right? That he sat there and took of what she said to Kate in her phone. All of that was admitted to. You know, all of that stuff was admitted to. Oh, thank you, Lynn. I appreciate you. We don't have to always agree, but I, you guys know, I appreciate like giving the facts of things that people might have missed, or having discussions on things that we all do agree on. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of people who come here specifically because they feel like they can't go to an anti-free Karen Read channel and they can't go to a Karen Read channel. So they come here because it's the only place that they feel like it's a safe place to like talk about other things and not get attacked, Yes, that one. Or do you know what I can do to you? That's another one. Do you know what I can do to you? Do you know who I am? I'll make you Kate famous. I'll make you Lindsay famous. Those are his new ones to victims now. Karen came out specifically after her trial and said, and also it was part of it was also in the interview she did, to say Colin never had an issue with any drugs. Him and John had no bad blood whatsoever, and Colin was not. She didn't see Colin, so like he was already home before her and John ever arrived out front. Oh yeah, or that one. People have no idea the amount of actual evidence that I have of the blackmail and threats that he has sent to people in writing. People like, you would never be that dumb to put it in writing. I disagree highly, considering he does and has. When people won't answer the phone and he can't threaten them verbally, which is his, the way he likes to do it, because there's no trail if you just say it on the phone. It's just your word against someone else's. But if you don't answer the phone, he resorts to put it in writing because he's so upset you won't answer the phone. Jojo, that would probably be closer to the time that his criminal cases come to an end. Because otherwise the judge is going to put a stop on it anyway. The judge would put basically a pause on it, like they did with the O'Keefe's wrongful death suit, because the criminal stuff is still ongoing. So it wouldn't really make sense to file it now, especially while more incoming evidence is still coming in daily. It would make sense to wait until the end of the criminal stuff, because it's going to be put on a pause anyway if you don't. No, that time limit, I mean, yes and no. Yes, there's a time limit, but that time limit keeps resetting itself, because every time you do it again, and again, and again, and again, No, he literally can't help himself. Literally cannot help himself. Well, that's the thing. It takes money and time and effort, and you have to have all those things to do it. All those times to do it. I do think that initially, also, I want everyone to know that the Sewer Turtle knew about the Higgins relationship with Karen the entire time and hid it. And then once people started putting it in his little, Facebook groups, he started deleting those messages and then telling everybody who was a part of like the mods or people who are creators, like, listen, we can't have people saying that because it makes Karen look bad. That's not what journalists do. It doesn't matter if it's going to make her look bad. It's the truth. He hid that from people the entire time. Yeah, good journalism, right? I will be playing it tomorrow, yes. I'm not sure if we're going to get video or audio. I have all the information for Zoom. I'm not sure if they're going to do just audio, video, or if we're going to get another like Court TV or something to stream as well. I don't know, but I do have the Zoom information for it. So. Oh, yeah. You know how many wiretapping? You're not the only one. I got a laundry list of people that he did that to. You can almost bet that if you're on the phone with him, he's wiretapping. Of course they did. A narc. Exactly. That's exactly it. It's unfortunate, but this happens a lot. This right here. And you would think that with all these cases that he would, people argue like, oh, he wouldn't be that stupid with all these cases going on. Wrong. Once again, when you have a lack of self-control or a lack of decision making, except with emotion, because you're running on ego and narcissism, there is no thinking it through. You just do it. And so that's half of his problem, is he just does it out of emotion, out of anger, really, jealousy, anger, insecurity. Doesn't think it through first. doesn't care about the consequences. Just cares about, getting you to stop doing whatever it is that he doesn't want you doing or saying. That's all. That's it. Whatever it takes to do that, that's what he's going to do. And because it's worked with so many people, keeps doing it because it's worked. So, I mean, if something's working with most people, you're going to keep doing it, right? It's shut up a lot of people. It's made a lot of people go away. Let's keep doing it, Well, that's, it's usually 3 years, but because it keeps happening, keeps resetting the time limit like a dumbass. Not smart. Not smart. Not smart at all, but hey. I mean, I think Cosgrove's a little too old, in my opinion, to be doing an internet case that relies on constant incoming information from the internet all the time. I think he's definitely a little too old and I mean, he admittedly doesn't really know a lot about the internet. So that definitely, I mean, they could have got him somebody to help him or had someone else take over. I don't know. But either way, I think they should have made an office with a multitude of people to help him instead of just him, because he clearly does not know how to work, thumb drives, never mind basic internet stuff. And they keep dragging it out. And you see this really sad motion that they just put in, this whiny motion to dismiss that's not going to be dismissed. And I'd be embarrassed to put in even if I was a fucking paralegal. That's not going to go over well with a judge. I don't know what idiot lawyer would ever put that in, but cool. But I think we're getting to the point where the judge is going to stop allowing the fuck games, and the judge is going to be like, listen, time to pick a trial date on this shit. Enough is enough. Yeah, control. Always. It's always about control. Always. Literally always. Sad, but true nonetheless. Well, that's exactly it. If someone pays him, a couple $100 to write a blog about someone, even if it's all filled with lies, he doesn't care as long as he gets paid. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but it's what happens, All right, listen up, folks. I've been here 2 hours and 19 minutes, and I'm getting hungry. I need to eat something. I need to go have my lunch ski. So, you guys know how to get in touch with me. If anyone, and I mean anyone, once again, free care and read, not free care and read, doesn't matter to me. You need a shoulder to lean on, an ear to listen to. You can always get in touch with me. You can get in touch with me on X. It's at Twisted Tragedy 3. There's fake ones out there, so don't fall for that. My is at Twisted Tragedy 3, and then it'll say Twisted Tragedies at the top. But there's a lot of people that have it say Twisted Tragedies at the top, and then their at is something different, and they're pretending and trying to make fun of me. Don't fall for the fake accounts. Then I have Facebook, my email, twistedtragedies3@gmail. And then you can always, comment on one of these. And or if you can't get me on any of those and one of my mods, you can always reach out to. Anybody who knows me will happily reach out on your behalf if you don't have social media or something like that. But I'm always willing to answer someone, and I appreciate seeing new faces here today to sort of realize that this level of hate isn't normal. It's not meant to be this way. I really hope that people can start maybe having some adult conversations and figuring out why. Motivation is always a good reason to sort of figure out why someone is doing something. And if it's a pattern of behavior over and over and over with someone, why? Right? I see far too many people that are like, he always has receipts, he always tells the truth. But that's just false. The man has manufactured so many receipts, I can't even explain to you how many. And the court knows about it. Not only that, but he'll remove parts that he doesn't want you to see about him. Like, this is just, it is fuck games. It is a lot of fuck games. A lot of fuck games that happen. And a lot of shit happens behind closed doors. And I wish I could tell you everything that I know, because you'd be disgusted, but I have, people's privacy and confidentiality of victims who have come to me and the information that I have not been given permission to share. And there's so many more of them than people even know. Like, there's just so many of them. And it's unfortunate because it doesn't have to be that way. People could just easily get along and actually find things in common. It's the person that's spitting out the hate and vitriol and pretending that it's some righteous reason, that these people are actually just bad people, when in reality, he's the bad person. And it sucks because it's not reality. It's just not. The reality is there's a lot of fuck shit going on behind closed doors that's hurting a lot of innocent people for no other reason other than they know too much, they got too much attention, or they didn't lie, or they became friends with someone that someone else didn't like, or there's a multitude of reasons. Petty jealousy, ego. There's just, it's sad because some of these people are such amazing people that it's like, it's their loss. Like, all these people who have no problem jumping on the back of a mob to harass other people don't even know the relationship. And I say, and it was said to me by a friend of mine, and they're like, at least it's their loss. Ultimately, it's literally their loss because you're a good person. You would help anyone with anything. And ultimately, they're the ones losing out on that relationship. You're not losing anything. And that sort of stuck with me ever since my friend said that to me, because she's right. No sweat off my back. I have a lot of people I already help. No sweat off my back, But I do think that there needs to be a way where people say, hold on, this is too far. And if people don't call out the bad behavior and we just ignore it, it's never going to stop or go away. We just stay out of it. And that's the problem, is most people do, is they don't want to be harassed and they don't want to be, mobbed. So they say nothing. Well, if you're one of those people that don't say anything, but you believe it's wrong, you should say something. Because there's so many of you. And if you actually stood together by saying, like, this is wrong, it would make a difference. It would show him that, no, people are not liking this behavior. They're not going to be okay with it. You're going to lose followers, subscribers, money if you continue on with this disgusting behavior. But people want to believe that he's right, or believe that it's true, or believe in all these wild conspiracies he's feeding them. And unfortunately, there's no conspiracy. He wasn't set up. It's just not true. And I feel like it's going to take the trial and all the stuff to come out for that to come to fruition, for people to actually see it with their own two eyes, to be like, oh, crap. But don't say I didn't warn you. But when you do figure it out, we'll be here. And we'll still be advocating that people don't get harassed into oblivion for simply having a different opinion or knowing something they're not supposed to know about behavior people shouldn't be doing, or simply not lying for someone. So with that, I hope everybody has an amazing Sunday. I love your stinking faces. I'll see you guys in the morning. I do have the Karen Reed information for the court case tomorrow, so I will be streaming that. So I hope to see a bunch of you then. Again, if you guys need me, you guys know how to get in touch with me. Make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button if you already didn't. Make sure you change the little bell notifications from some to all. If you'd like to donate to the channel, you can remain anonymous. I don't have to say your name. You just put A or ANON and I'll just say anonymous, or I'll read the amount and just not, who you are. And if you don't want me, you're going to just say, don't read it. But there are plenty of people that say to me, I don't want, my name. That's totally fine. You can remain anonymous. A lot of people do that. They like to, remain anonymous, and that's totally okay. So if you're catching me on the replay as well, you know how to do it. To donate to the channel and support, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut, all of it's in the description of the video. There's wish lists. We have wish lists. And then there's also the link, the donation link, which you can use just a regular credit or debit card for. With that, I love your stinking faces. I will see you all in the morning. And you guys will see the thing pop up about 8 o'clock, I'd say. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.